Hi everyone, it's Peter from PS Sound, and in today's video I'm gonna show you what I'm doing with this Helix Q10W 10-inch sub. This little monster. It's a dual 2-ohm voice coil. I believe it's 800 watt RMS or something like that, or 600. Doesn't matter. More than enough. It requires only a small enclosure. It's looking pretty good according to specs for sealed application as well as for ported. In this case we are going to do a sealed enclosure for it because we don't have much space to play with in this car. I mean, oh yeah, we could have hell of a lot of space, but the client wanted just a space saving option. So I'm going to build an enclosure utilizing that little space here. The only trouble is that it drops down a good 3 inches, and it would be great if we could use that space as well. But if, let's say, if you built an enclosure or made a mold that goes down, you would never be able to take that out. It wouldn't slide out, or you would have to lift it up, but then you would have to leave space on the top so it can lift up and slide out. So I'm gonna keep it flat all the way till the outside wall and then build a structure. I was debating till this morning whether I make a complete fiberglass mold or I just do it with my usual wood puzzle technique, and I think I still go with the wood option. Fiberglassing is just too much hassle, and I see so many people, you know, making beautiful fiberglass enclosures, but I can tell that, you know, the thickness of the wall is just really thin. They build a 5-6 mil mold, job done. That's not what you need. It looks cool, but believe me, it's not what the subwoofer requires, especially when you push 500 watts through that little beast. That's gonna, you know, rattle the shit out of a really thin fiberglass mold. So if you were doing fiberglass, I would say a minimum of 12 mil thickness is the bare minimum you need. Yes, I know that the shape itself gives extra strength to it, but still, you have to build it thick, and to build up so many layers from fiberglass, that takes time, and people don't really understand that, or they don't want to pay for it. So instead, I'm gonna do my trick, and then I show you stage by stage how it's going on. Alrighty, so yeah, this is where I got after a day. Puzzle. So yeah, instead of building up the layers from fiberglass, I'm using 18 mil or 3/4 of an inch plywood all around, and yeah, the baffle is gonna come there, as you see, behind the board points. These board points are going into the factory threads of those, where can you see it better? These tie points, as you see, 2 M6 bolts, all these tie points, and I'm using those points for the enclosure to mount it, so it's not gonna go anywhere. So once the baffle is in, I have to determine where I have to cut out the hole for the driver. It's a bit tight, not very tight. I still have space around the magnet, and more than enough depth behind the magnet. And then those 2 inches will give space for the beauty panel with an integrated press grill, so it can protect the driver. It's quite a thick basket with a quite big surround, allowing high excursion, so you have to leave space for that as well. The grill cannot be close to it, so those 2 inches should give me more than enough space for that. Once the baffle is in, that will be built together with the edges, and then once the structure is built, then I fiber fill it in and out, and then also pour it out with milkshake, and then I just have to work it together with that line to make it nice, you know, to integrate to the shape of the car. A bit of filling, yeah, it's gonna get there. It's not that bad after a day. Oopsie, I nearly forgot to take videos. I was so carried away with this thing. So now it's taken out of the car, and I had to do some of it with fiber filler. This bit, I didn't want to play too much with wood, it would have been a bit too fiddly. Only this part till this line is structural part of the enclosure. This is just kinda part of the beauty panel. So I have to make this solid from the inside, because this is now only 5-6 mil. Have to fill that with the same puzzle technique, and then this is what you see from the back. All these gaps will have to be joined with fiber filler all around, as well as from the inside. This way I can easily get to the buffalo from the back, and once it's all done from the inside, then I can build up the back wall, and then I have to worry about to make it look nice with a protective grill. So yeah, I think now I'm at around 11-12 hours into this thing, so a day and a half ish. So yeah, crack on. Alright, so most of the gaps were filled. I still have to fill this top section, but as you see, all those are filled now, inside and out. And then this back section has to be filled as well, that I've just put in from few pieces. Whether you can see it from the inside. So now you can see the light shining through that white gaffer tape. That tape is there to kinda avoid the filler to come through, because if you keep feeding it from the back, all of it would just fall through. So this way it only fills the gap and goes till the gaffer tape that you can pull off later on. But yeah, you can see the rest of the edges are done. And then once it's all filled in and out, then I'm gonna pour it out with the milkshake, and then yeah, then I test it with water to see what airspace we have. I suspect, I don't know, 18 liters maybe, which is around 0.7-ish cubic foot. We will see. 0.6 would be more than enough for the sub, for sealed application. Yeah, I fill it, and then I'll probably call it a day, and then tomorrow I put it out with milkshake and then test it with water. Alright, so I've got 16.5 liters poured into it. It was measured all with this, just 1.5 liter full of bucket, 10.5, and then another 3 of those. That was 15. I brought one of those 16.5 earlier, and then I have another 1.5. So if it goes in, and it does go in, and it still hasn't reached the top. It's not far, I would say, in between half and a liter. So we are at 18 liter bang on at the moment, so it's around 18.5 or maximum 19 liters. I was hoping for 18, which is cool. So we are at, in cubic foot, hang on a second, that's around 0.7 of a cubic foot. So yeah, at least now we know how big the enclosure is, and then I leave the water in here for a short while so I can also see if there's any leakage anywhere, because it was all pulled out with milkshake, nice and grey inside, as you see, an even layer all around. But sometimes, yeah, water finds the smallest cracks in anything, so if there's any leakage, then I address it. We will see in a few minutes. Just let the water do its job, and we will see. Now I'm just right before filling up the areas around the beauty panel. The beauty panel is taped off. I don't want to damage that with the filler. Once that's done, I'll show the beauty panel after. But the gap that I had, I filled it up with MDF, shaved it slightly so I don't have to waste that much filler. You can see a bit of magic in there to fill up that gap. Once the filler comes over it, it will hide that. And then up here as well, just a bit of filler over it, as well as here. And then once it's done, then I'm gonna chuck the enclosure into the car and fill the edges to the car, and then I should be right there, very close now. All right, so most of it is now done. Up there it's kind of made smooth. Then I chopped it off a little bit, so I don't know, it's a bit of a feature, so you will see this sharp angle. The enclosure will be trimmed with black carpet to match the interior of the boot, and I'm not sure what I trimmed this one with, whether vinyl or Alcantara looking stuff, something like that. But yeah, I left the gap all around, so once these two pieces are trimmed, then this will be push fit. Press grille was also made, which will sit inside there. Painted black. Oops. So yeah, as you see, it's nothing fancy. That's where the bolt points are. I can bolt it down to the chassis. Yeah. So now I put it into the car, fill it up to the shape of the car, and then it's ready for trimming. So here we are, right at the end. The car is about to leave. The client has just listened to it. Unfortunately, guys, I know you want to kind of see this sub moving and you know, hear it cranked up, but unfortunately it's really late and I don't want to upset the family by turning it up. But I'm sure we will find another time when, you know, we can demo it. Whether, you know, it makes justice through the phone when you see a sub moving. I mean, you know, it could be a 20 quid sub moving and then you would think it's great. But yeah, when it comes to sound quality, you really have to sit in the car, listen to it, and then it makes, you know, a day and night difference. For what I can tell right now is that yeah, we are very impressed. I was, you know, a bit skeptic about whether a 10 would be enough to play the low end, and especially in such a big car. It's an A8, pretty sealed boot. I mean, yeah, something goes through the parcel shelf here and there. So when it comes to output, it's a difficult car to get bass into the cabin, but it makes things shake and move. And now, you know, you realize that you need way more work on the boot itself to sound better in it, because there's, yeah, a fair amount of rattles. But I think that's normal, so we will have to have a look at that. But the sub itself is really musical. It plays the highs really nicely. It's very tight, so it has nice kick. It keeps up with the front. It's fast, and it still plays the very lows that I was quite surprised by, because normally I would expect a 10 to play down to 30 solid, you know, 25 just about, and then anything under 25 is a bonus, and it's still playing well. I tested a few tracks, one of my favorites that plays down at 21, and it's there. Okay, you know, I can't compare it to the 218s I have in my car in IB, but it was certainly playing it, and with the right, you know, resolution. It's not just, you know,
bluted base, it's very accurate. So yeah, next time when we have time, then we see what it can really do when it comes to output as well. But yeah, we don't really feel like, you know, it's lacking when it comes to output. There's a Zepco 500 watt RMS monoblock running it on 1 ohm, so the two ohm coils are in parallel, and yeah, it seems to be enough for it. We have a good 5-6 dB headroom in the setup, so you know, if the client wants a bit more bass, I think it's enough for the front end. So yeah, this is pretty much it. So that piece is push fit. It's pretty difficult to pull it out now once it went in. I left 3mm tolerance because 2mm for the carpet, 1mm for the vinyl, and yeah, now it's pushed in. It's not gonna slide out. You need tools to pull it out because it's very tight. Custom grill was made, and the boot is still nice and practical. This can be opened up. So happy days. Well guys, I hope you liked the video. Please feel free to comment, share, all the usual things, and please subscribe. And yeah, we will see what we do next. I have plenty of footage to edit. I don't know when, but hopefully I'll get there one day. So guys, you know, yeah, see you on the next one.